Hello, my YouTube friends. AI is here whether you like it or not. You aren't going to be able to get away from it. And if you want to succeed on YouTube, you may as well embrace it and learn to use it to your advantage. So today, I'm going to show you how to create this animated just chatting overlay using a bunch of different free AI tools and free editors as well. It has a Tomb Raider theme, but as you're going to see, you can easily create one for any game that you might be playing. We got a lot to get to, so you know what? Let's get to it! There are links to all these tools that I'm going to show you today in the description so you can download them and check them out for yourself. If you do that and you follow along with this tutorial, you're going to learn a lot faster. Let's get this whole thing started. I'm going to use Midjourney to create my images. Now there are lots and lots of free image generation tools out there for AI. And if you have Photoshop already, you can just use generative fill and create a blank image and put your prompt in there. The thing is video games are such a part of pop culture and the zeitgeist that when you image prompt these, you can just basically put it in there as the style of. So you'll notice when I write this prompt, I'm just putting it in there in the style of Tomb Raider with Lara Croft in the prompt, and the image generation tool is going to know exactly what I mean. And the reason why is because it knows what these images are. These AI tools already have that in there. So if you're going to do Fortnite or Halo or anything else, you can put characters from those games along with the style that you want, and you're going to be okay. And then I'm going to put my aspect ratio in here, which is 16:9, and click enter, and let's see what we get. All right, so we get 4 pretty decent shots here, very reminiscent of Tomb Raider. And obviously we're not going to get anything exact, but it has to be close enough and interesting and pretty much look like Tomb Raider. So I kind of like what we got here. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and I'm going to upscale number 1 and number 3. And I'm going to go ahead and just have it create different versions of number 1 and number 3 as well, because maybe we get something that's even better. So when we're going through stuff like this, we're basically just deciding on what we want to upscale, what we want to take a better look at, but we're also looking for things that can be interestingly animated, like the waterfalls in these scenes here. Then we kind of want to just figure out which ones we want to upscale and use. So this is an iterative process where I'll upscale some, I'll request different versions of others, and you can do all of this free in Midjourney. You can't do a million images, but you can do enough that you're going to be able to get the things that you want for free. Generally speaking, you kind of want to do iterations on stuff that you know will have interesting animations to it, like this one here, which I think is the one I actually decided on in the end. And I think it's going to look absolutely fantastic. Now we're going to create a video from our actual image. So we're going to go in and download the image that we want to create a video from. And then we're going to use a tool called Runway. And this allows us to upload an image right here. And it will create a video for us. So we're just going to go and find that image. We're going to put it in here. And then once the image is loaded, we can put in text for the image if we want, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go down here to the bottom and we're going to use this pan tool right here. And we're just going to tell it we want a little bit of a pan. Now you can use brushes to make sure that specific things are animated, like we could brush the waterfalls to make sure they're animated and things like that. But we're just going to trust that it's going to do it, and we're going to put a pan in there. And we're going to go ahead and generate this. Now you're going to notice in the top right hand corner it says 29 seconds left, and you get a specific number of generated seconds every month for free, so you can generate these little videos. And what it's going to do is generate those 4 seconds of video at a time. And over on the right pane we can see it, so we're just going to click on it. You can see how far it is in the process of generating our AI video. Now that our video is generated, we can just click play and see what we've got. And we can see the waterfalls are waterfalling for the most part, and we've got a nice little pan going on there, which is exactly what we're looking for. Is it perfect? Not really, but for the purposes of what we're going to use it for, it's pretty doggone good. It will serve the purpose. So we've got a figure that looks like Lara Croft in the foreground, and we've got an image that pans around and looks kind of cool. So the next thing we need to do is export this. If we click over here, it gives us a little bit of information about our video and our animation. And all we need to do is go ahead and right click on our video, and we can go to Save Video. And all we want to do is go ahead and name that and then save out our video. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and open up an editor, and we're going to just pull our video in there, bring it down on the timeline. I'm using DaVinci Resolve because it's really easy to get it out of there. We're going to go to the very last frame. I'm going to go down into colors, and all I have to do is right click on this last frame and select Grab Still, and then I can right click on it in the left hand pane and go ahead and select Export, and then we can export it as a PNG. We're just going to name it, and we're going to go ahead and click Export. And now we have the last frame of our first AI rendered video. And I bet you can already guess what we're going to do with this. We're going to go back into Runway. We're going to remove this image and upload the second image for our video. And we're going to go ahead and leave the pan on there. We want it to continue to pan exactly the same way as it did before. And we're just going to go ahead and click Generate. And we're going to have the second part of our video. Now I did this a grand total of 3 times. So you could see the 3 videos I have, and they all pan in the same direction, move around. They look pretty good. So what I want to do is crop out that watermark that it leaves in the bottom right hand corner. So all I'm going to do is zoom in each one of these equally. So we have that cropped out. Next, I put a good fade in between each one of them. Sometimes you have to shorten the beginning and the end of the clips in order to put a fade in there. And I just feel like this makes the clips transition one to another more smoothly so that you can't really tell it's 3 separate clips. The next thing I did was duplicate the clips, and you can just select them all and use the Alt key and drag them out. And what I wanted to do here was create a pan to one side and then have it just pan back to the other. So then you have to go ahead and reverse the clips that you just pulled out. Obviously the third clip has to go fourth, and the second clip has to go 5th. You have to reverse order the clips in order to have them go back seamlessly the other way. Then I went in and just went ahead and reversed the clips so that they would go backwards. And basically this just creates an effect where it pans to one side and then it pans back to the other. Makes it really, really smooth. It also makes it easily loopable so that we can loop this and have it look absolutely fantastic for our final product. Now in my case, I did this a couple times just to make sure that I had a longer clip, but you really don't need to. You can have it pan one way, pan back, and that's your loop. There isn't really any reason to make it a longer clip unless you really want to. The last thing we need to do, obviously, is export our clip so we can use it in OBS. So we're going to go to Deliver, and then at the top, we're going to go ahead and select YouTube 1920 by 1080. Then we need to go ahead and name our file and select a location where we want our final render to go. And once we do that, we just want to check to make sure that everything is proper, that it's whatever our frame rate is, 30, 60, whatever. And go ahead and select Add to Render Queue. And then over here on the right, all we have to do is click Render, and we're going to have the first clip for our awesome overlay. The next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and create another clip. This one, in this particular situation, is going to be a vertical one. So instead of being 16 by 9, it's going to be 19 by 6. We're going to basically use the exact same information when we're creating our image, and the process is exactly the same. We're going to use Midjourney. However, once we get our image in Midjourney, I'm going to show you another tool that you can use to animate your videos. And we're going to use that on this panel. So let's get right into that one. Now this tool is totally free and it's called Pixaverse. I just select image at the top, meaning we want to create a video from an image. And we load our image in here in the image section. And right here you can suggest the amount of actual movement that you want on your image, and you can put it in HD quality and just click create. So it doesn't give you all the options that the other one does, but that's okay. It's 100% totally free, which I really like. There's no certain amount of seconds or anything like that. You can load as many images in here as you want and continue to just create and create and create until you get the kind of animation that you want that looks good for you. So I show you how I do this and the iterations that I get, but you can do literally 20 or 30 iterations before you get what you want. I know in these videos it's the magic of editing where it looks like I get exactly what I'm looking for the very first time, but that's not necessarily the case. As you can see here, I also run multiple at the same time to make it easier to kind of make sure you get what you're looking for without having to wait for these to render forever. Now, the thing that I really like about this one as well is the fact that it gives you such a really nice gallery. You can just click on these images once they're finished and you can go into the gallery and play your video, and it's going to show you it in a looped format. You can even see over on the right that you have the opportunity to upscale those images, which is beautiful. That means that your editing software isn't going to need to try to upscale it and make it look bad. It will do it for you. You can go through and play around and do as many of these images as you want until you get to the proper one. You can upscale every single one and you can mess around with them until you get a couple of images that you want. In this case, I did the exact same thing with this panel where I got 2 or 3 images that panned the same direction and would look good lined up. Then I go ahead and bump those images together in my editing software and loop them exactly the same as what I did for the other one. So the final result is going to be basically 2 panels, one this upright panel and the other one that we did, that have a looping video in them. Now all we really need to do is go ahead and build our overlay. Now to build our overlay, I'm going to use CapCut, so I'm just going to go in here and click Start Project. And of course there are links to this. It's totally free. You can download it yourself and follow along. And I'm just going to drag in the clips that I already exported out of DaVinci. So we've got our horizontal clip and our vertical clip. Then what I'm going to do is go ahead and drag our horizontal clip down here onto the timeline. And you can see that over there in our preview window. And you can see what it looks like. And I'm just going to shrink that up and put it up here in the top left-hand corner. Then I'm going to drag the other one on there. And we'll go and put it at the beginning, and this is our vertical clip, and we can see it's right on top of our other clip. And what I'm going to do is move it over here to the right hand side, and I'm just going to see how it looks when they move together. It looks pretty good. I'm going to hold down the Alt key, select this, and just drag them out so we can duplicate it. And when we play it, we can kind of see that it's not too busy. We do get a nice pan, and our clips line up, which is good. I'm just going to drag it and replicate that vertical one last time. And there we go. You can see we do have a gap at the bottom, which is possible that you'll have as well. And that means one of them might look a little bit abrupt when it loops. You can obviously avoid doing this by being smarter about selecting how you want to do your clips. So now I'm just going to modify up these clips and make them a little smaller so that we have a panel on the right which shows our vertical, and we have a panel on the left which shows our main larger screen. Now this is an overlay, so on the right hand side we're going to go ahead and put our chat over that panel, and on the left hand side we're going to use that other panel as a backdrop for our camera. So you're not actually even going to be able to see the full of either of these. Like I said, we're using these as overlays. So there we go. Now we have everything kind of all lined up, looking pretty good the way that you would want it in an overlay. Now I'm going to go ahead and duplicate the bottom one, and I'm going to bring it all the way over here, and then I'm going to select everything. I'm going to move them up one, and I'm just going to put that other one underneath all of them. And what I'm going to do is select that bottom one, and I'm going to use the zoom feature to just make it bigger so it's kind of covers the back of everything, and I'm just going to move it to a position where it looks kind of decent. And there we go. Now I know it looks really busy right now, so we're going to definitely correct that problem but we want some movement in the background as well. We want it to look interesting and have a backdrop that kind of looks cool. So for now, we're going to just reuse that bottom panel, and I'm just trying to kind of fit it up in a location where I think it's going to give us the most interesting kind of look. And what I'm going to do is make sure that I have the right clip selected, the one on the bottom. So now I'm going to go up to the top and select adjustments. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and make adjustments to the color, contrast, brightness, and everything else of this clip. So I darken it up quite a bit, but I make sure that it looks the way that I want it to look in the background. I don't want it to be too distracting. I want it to be much darker than my other clips, but I also want it to have that subtle movement that moves kind of along with the other clips. It'll just be a really nice kind of accent to the background that isn't static, because I could just put a color background back there, just a black color or whatever, but this will add that extra little bit of movement that makes your overlay really stand out. Next, I'm going to go into CapCut's text tools, and CapCut has some absolutely amazing presets and text tools that are really awesome. So I'm going to put in a subscriber one and a thanks for watching and click the thumbs up button and that sort of stuff. I'm just going to quickly add those into my overlay so they're already there. Next, I'm going to go into CapCut's effects tool and kind of search for some sort of effect that might make each of these panels look cool and unique and add something over top of them. So I tried this glitch effect here first, and that wasn't really what I was looking for. So I eventually settled on a very, very cool kind of embers effect that has these little embers that float over across of the screen. I think it looks absolutely incredible and just adds that little extra touch to each of the panels. Now you could go absolutely bonkers on here. You can see I added some stuff after I stopped filming that, but we're going to go ahead and export this and show you what it looks like and how to add it into your OBS. So you just have to go up here to the top right and click the export button. And then you just want to make sure that all the settings are what you're looking for. So basically what you're really concerned about here is your resolution and your frame rate. Make sure those are what you're looking for. Save the file to a location where you know you're going to be able to find it again, and just click export. It takes a couple seconds and it'll export for you. It'll look great. Here in OBS, you're going to want to go ahead and click the plus under your sources, and we're just going to go ahead and add a media source. You can name this if you want. Click OK. Then you're just going to browse and you're going to go find that video that we just created. Loop that video and click OK. And there we go. So now we have our overlay in here. All we have to do is go ahead and move our camera over top of our overlay, and then we can resize that up and stick it right where we want it. And we have created an overlay using AI with animation and all kinds of cool stuff really easily. And this is the kind of overlay that I would use for just talking. And let me go ahead and show you the final result of this overlay after I put everything else back in it. All of the stream labels and of course the chat text. And this is what the actual final product looks like. I added some flourishes on the bottom, and of course we've got our chat on the right, our camera right there in the center. This is the perfect Just Talking overlay for a Tomb Raider live stream. It looks absolutely fantastic, and it was all created by us in a very short period of time using 100% free tools. This may all seem like a long, complicated process, but if you followed along once, you're going to be able to do this yourself easily and quickly for any game and any scene. In fact, you're going to be able to do it better because you will definitely see things that you can improve on and enhance yourself with the amazing free tools I showed you today. If you want to see how you can add stream labels or chat to your overlays, you should check one of these videos out. Or maybe you have a question about something I showed you today. Well, we live stream every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can come ask any question you want right there. I look forward to seeing you. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.